Today's Greatest Briton and Union Jack, as my superstar panel, is back with me, Daisy McAndrew, Stanley Johnson and Emily Carver. So, Daisy, let me kick off with you. Who is your Greatest Briton this Wednesday night?
Right, I'm going to remind myself what their names are, because they are so wonderful. I don't want
Kerry,
to
Roberts and Tammy Kirkwood.
Kerry, Roberts and Tammy Kirkwood. Now, you might have been reading about them today. So
there they are.
Here they are. Kerry's daughter, Leah, died of an MDMA overdose. She then decided to very bravely meet Tammy, who is the mother of the boy who sold her daughter the drugs and went to prison for it. Oh. And these two women have joined forces to do a publicity campaign about the dangers of MDA and how kids get into drugs, because Leah was like a good kid, and her mum was saying on the radio today, getting hold of the MDMA was cheaper and easier than getting hold. She was 15 years old, I think. That it was cheaper and easier to get hold of the MDMA than it would have been to buy a bottle of vodka or, you know, a can of Foster's or what you'd expect teenagers to do. And she'd bought it from Connor, who was the daughter of Tammy, who himself was a teenager, had got involved in county lines. And got himself into, you know, a bad law and sold the drugs. He did go to prison for it. He's been released, and so they're explaining how kids get involved in county lines, how kids think taking MDMA is going to be, you know, something that's just going to be fun on a Saturday night. And these two brave women, brave mothers, have come together, and so they are my Greatest Britons
today. And we have to hope that makes a difference.
That it'll explain to kids.
Stanley Johnson, your Greatest Briton is an honorary Brit.
Well, I mean, William Shatner. I mean, at the age of 90, he's going strong still. I think.
Would you do it?
Well, I did Kilimanjaro twice. I did Kilimanjaro when I was 75.
And you did I'm a Celebrity?
I did do I'm a Celebrity. I was 44 years older than the average age. But on the other hand, we didn't have to do anything.
But space? Would you do space?
Well, having, as it were, inveighed against space travel earlier in the program,
exactly.
I might say it'd be slightly contradictory. That said, if someone actually pressed me, Richard Branson came and said, "Look, Stanley, I'll give you $5 bob," you know, I'll do it for $5 bob.
You'd be there. Well, look, let's have a look at this incredible moment.
What you have given me is the most profound experience I can imagine. I'm so filled with emotion about what just happened. It's extraordinary, extraordinary. I hope I never recover from this. I hope that I can maintain what I feel now. I don't want to lose it.
What a moment. Emily Carver, your Greatest Briton.
Going a bit left field with this one, but it's going to be Squid Game. Yeah. Just because it's quite an extraordinary story. This guy was a drug addict himself, and he came up with this idea, and he pitched it for 10 years, and then Netflix got hold of it, and now it's the most popular programme I think they've ever had, well, at least one of, and they've had 111 million different users watching this programme. And I've begun watching it. I think this might have something to do, or the clip that you showed of North Korea.
It's like Squid Game.
I wonder if they did that as some sort of retaliation. Look what we've got. This is our version of Squid Game.
Not realising that the whole point of Squid Game is to say this is a terrible way. I was actually very traumatised by the whole thing. I think we're going to talk about it more on the show, actually, because Netflix now, when something is a Netflix sensation and it's watched by 111 million households, that's households around the world. So actually, you're probably, in some households, that's going to be being watched by 10 people.
And people share their login details.
Totally. But I found it very disturbing. And even a week on, I'm still not sure if I believe, and people are going to say I'm a real prude, but I'm really not sure that the violence and the sick nature of this show was necessary for the very valid point that I know it was making. But we'll talk about Squid Game in the future. Stanley Johnson's going to love my Greatest Briton tonight, though, because last time Stanley was on the show, he thought I was maybe just a little bit tough about the Prime Minister. But my Greatest Briton tonight is Boris Johnson, and it's for the opposite reason to what Labour would have you think. It's because I think it's absolutely sensational that the Prime Minister has taken this foreign holiday. He is signifying to the rest of the country that Britain is back to normal again It's time to travel. It's time to support our travel and tourism industries. I think it's absolutely imperative that any Prime Minister, I don't care what party they're from, actually recharge the batteries so they can do a good job. And so have a good week, Boris. Turn your phone off, do your painting, and that's why you're my greatest Briton. I think this just shows why the Labour press are out of touch. So, Stanley, I knew you'd like that because you thought I was very tough on your son last time, didn't you? So here you go.